Hi, we're here at Top Dog SF with Rufus the Bernedoodle, and today we're going to do a little demo video on crate training, which is super important for young puppies and adult dogs. I know many of us don't want to keep our dogs in a crate at home, but teaching a dog that the crate is their safe, happy place is a very important part of the psychology and welfare of a dog. Our goal is to never use the crate as a punishment tool, but as a management tool when we need to be able to keep our puppies safe and out of trouble. So the main goal here is that we want to create a positive association to the crate. We want the dog to be happy to go in the crate when we ask them to. We want to be able to call our puppy from different areas into the crate, and we would also eventually like to be able to send our puppy from different areas into the crate. So we want to start by just doing a couple of basic steps here. First, I'm just simply going to toss a few high-value treats inside the crate so that Rufus will go get them. No cue, no instruction, just simply getting him to go in for the treat. When Rufus goes in, I'm going to close the crate door, and I'm going to drop a couple more little pieces inside. And now I'm going to say, okay, and open the crate door. Okay is our no reward release marker. It tells the puppy that they're free to come out of the crate, but the reward is coming out. They don't get any food reward for coming out. And the rule with crate training is that the food rewards only come inside the crate, not outside the crate. Oops. The other thing about crate training is we don't recommend using any markers like yes or good or a clicker because we don't want to create any excitement or arousal with this exercise. We want it to be a very low-key, calm, relaxed exercise. And sometimes when you use markers, if a dog has been conditioned to the marker enough, it may build up excitement in them when they hear that marker word. The other reason why we don't use markers is because we don't want to mistakenly mark the puppy halfway in the crate, like 2 or 3 feet in and 1 or 2 feet out. We want to make sure that the puppy is rewarded for going into the crate and staying inside the crate, and that they're going to receive a random number of treats when they go inside the crate and stay in there. Okay. And I'm just going to repeat over again. Toss a piece in, close the crate door, toss a couple more pieces inside. Okay. So I just want to build this up a few times. A positive association to going inside the crate and getting treats inside the crate. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of like point my, well, Rufus went in all on his own. That's a good boy. That's what we want. We want the puppy to be happy to go in the crate on their own. Okay. So now that we have Rufus wanting to go into the crate on his own, I'm just simply going to just point my finger inside. As soon as he goes in, I'm going to toss a few treats. So pointing my finger at the crate is going to become our hand cue to let the puppy know what we want them to do, and so that we can enforce the verbal cue. If we give the puppy the verbal cue and they don't go in the crate, then we can show them the hand cue, which will more than likely influence the puppy to want to go inside. Okay? Once again, I'm just going to point inside. As soon as he starts going in, drop a few little pieces. Close the crate door, drop another piece inside. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply introduce a little verbal cue right before I toss the food inside. He went on his own. I want to make sure we reward that and reinforce that. Okay. Now see, he doesn't want to come out because he thinks, well, when I go in the crate, you give me treats, but when I come out, you give me nothing. So I should stay in here because maybe that's going to keep giving me more treats. Rufus, crate. So I just say the cue, and I drop a couple pieces in the back, close the crate door, drop a few more pieces inside. Okay. Rufus, crate. And we want to do this exercise for 2 to 5 minutes, at least once a day. And by doing this, what we're doing is we're creating value in the puppy's mind for going into the crate, and we're removing the value and coming out of the crate, because when the puppy comes out, they don't get any reward for it. If the reward only comes inside the crate, then that makes the puppy think, when I go in the crate and I stay in the crate, I get rewards. Maybe I should go in there more often, and maybe I should stay in there in hopes of getting more rewards. So if the puppy barks like that, we want to make sure that we wait at least 3 seconds before we release. Okay. We don't want to let them out when they're barking. We want to make sure we let them out when they're calm or distracted by something else. Crate. Okay. So see, once again, he didn't want to come out. Rufus, crate. Now, if you notice, when I say crate, I try to be still and I don't move. And then after saying crate, I bring my hand out and I throw the food inside. Okay? Watch me do this again. Rufus, crate. If we say crate and throw the food at the same time, then what's going to happen is the dog could get the what we call show me the money syndrome, which means that the dog's not going to go in the crate unless we show them that we have food. By making sure that we don't have the food present and we're still when we say the cue, and then we throw the food in afterwards, this makes the dog think, when you say crate, that means I should go inside to get a reward, not, oh, when you say crate, that means that there's a reward being given to me in that moment. We want the dog to be thinking ahead and thinking that when we say crate, that means to go inside in anticipation of the reward that will come. Okay. Rufus, crate. Okay. Rufus, crate. Okay. Rufus, crate. Okay. Rufus, crate. And we just want to keep repeating this every day for 2 to 5 minutes. And what's going to happen is sooner or later, Rufus is going to start going into the crate when I say crate in anticipation of me throwing the food inside the crate. And when that happens, that means that they're learning the cue and they're learning to go inside when we say go inside. Rufus, crate. You can see how his body kind of like started moving towards the crate, but didn't go inside all on his own. That means we're getting close. And that's a sign that he's starting to become conditioned to going inside the crate when we give him the cue. Okay. All right, happy crate training. I hope that this video is helpful for you all, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.